Chosen one. The truth about you is glorious, and it's coming out. There is a truth so radiant about you, so divinely sculpted that it was never meant to stay hidden. It was never meant to be silenced, ignored, or buried under the weight of other people's misconceptions, envy, or disbelief. What is within you was designed by God to shine through, no matter who tries to suppress it, distort it, or mislabel it. You are not an ordinary being wandering through time unnoticed. You are a divine assignment wrapped in flesh, coated with brilliance that this world hasn't fully seen yet. The truth about you is not small. It is not fragile. It is not irrelevant. It is glorious, and it is emerging now with force, clarity, and divine purpose. Watch this video until the very end. There is something magnetic and powerful flowing through these words. And write your warmest wishes in the comments, and write the number 99 next to them. This is a space where wishes are breathed into life and where divine alignment begins to orbit closer. Let your wish vibrate with belief. The universe hears the bold and the expectant. Now, chosen one, press the hype button and like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. There comes a time when the masks fall away, not yours, but the ones others wore while pretending not to see you. The time has arrived when silence can no longer hide the magnitude of what you carry. The truth about who you really are, chosen one, has been carefully and masterfully concealed by the divine until the appointed hour. You weren't hidden because you were unworthy. You are hidden because you are sacred. And what is sacred is not rushed. What is sacred is revealed in timing that only God controls. He has protected the truth of you, guarded your essence, veiled your calling until now. And now he says, this is the moment. The unveiling begins. What's coming out of you is not fabricated. It's not influenced by external voices. It is original, ancient, and breathtaking. It is the kind of truth that makes room for you in places where you were once overlooked. This truth will start to walk ahead of you. It will announce you before you enter the room. You won't need to say a word. Your energy, your divine glow, your quiet power will speak first. People will feel it in their spirit before they understand it with their minds. They will wonder why they feel drawn to you, why your name begins to echo in unexpected places, why your story suddenly commands attention. It's because the truth about you is no longer allowed to be silent. The world may have seen fragments of you before, glimpses, reflections, soft shadows, but they are about to see the full light, the full manifestation of the you that God has been shaping in private, the one that endured years of trials, not to be broken, but to be carved, the one that carried weight in silence, that sacrificed without applause, that held faith even when the heavens were quiet. That version of you, the true, divine, brilliant version, is stepping forward now. And no one, no voice, no system, no past can hold it back anymore. For years, people may have misunderstood you. They may have tried to fit you into categories that never aligned with your soul. You might have been called too much, too intense, too different. But what they saw as too much was just a glimpse of your glory. And the truth is, God never asked them to understand you. He asked you to trust him while he made you into someone they couldn't ignore. The truth about you is tied to divine timing. And divine timing never fails. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are arriving exactly when the curtain is supposed to rise. You are stepping into your moment when the stage is fully lit and the heavens are aligned. The delay was not punishment. It was preparation. God delayed your revelation so that your truth would come out in a way that no one could deny, dilute, or distort. What's emerging now is undeniable. Even those who once dismissed you will watch in awe as your light floods the very spaces they tried to block you from. You're being unmasked, not by force, but by divine permission. The sacred truth of your identity is being confirmed, not by external validation, but by internal revelation. You'll feel it in the way your spirit awakens. You'll know it by the peace that starts to take root, even in chaotic surroundings. You'll see it in the opportunities that begin to seek you, in the people who begin to mirror your worth instead of questioning it. You'll sense it in the way everything starts to respond to your truth instead of your struggle. This is not random, this is alignment. And alignment always follows the exposure of truth. The truth about you is not just a personal awakening, it's a cosmic event. It's been forecasted in the spiritual realm. Angels have been assigned to guard it. Energies have been shifting to make room for it. You felt the tremors in your dreams, in your thoughts. In the strange and sacred way, everything started to feel unfamiliar before becoming clear. That's what happens right before divine truth makes its entrance. The old you begins to fade because the real you is being announced. People may say, "You've changed," but you haven't changed. You've emerged. They may say, "I didn't know this about you," but it was always there. They just weren't ready to see it. God kept you in the shadows long enough to build something unshakable. And now that you're coming into the light, everything He planted in you is ready to grow in public. There's a majestic rhythm to what's unfolding. It's like the moment when the orchestra lifts its instruments and a single spotlight lands center stage. You are that moment. You are that spotlight. And everything you were made to be is rising to meet the sound of destiny. The noise of past failures, betrayal, and small thinking is being drowned out by the roar of your truth. And that truth, chosen one, is soaked in glory. You'll begin to notice how certain doors that once ignored you are suddenly wide open. You'll notice how the very people who doubted you are now speechless. But don't seek revenge. Don't waste energy explaining. You were never meant to prove your worth. You were meant to radiate it, and now you will. Your voice will carry weight, not because it's loud, but because it's aligned. Your presence will demand attention, not because it begs, but because it glows. Your truth will attract what belongs to you, because it's finally visible. This isn't arrogance, it's acceptance. You're not becoming full of yourself, you're becoming full of what God placed inside of you. You are walking into a season where people will say, "We knew there was something different about them." And the truth is, they were right. There was something different, something sacred. But what they didn't know is that your difference was divinely orchestrated. And that's what's coming out now. The orchestration, the precision, the celestial fingerprint God left on you. It's rising to the surface. The truth about you will start to echo through every environment you enter. Not because you're trying to be seen, but because you were meant to be recognized. There's a difference. You don't have to chase spotlight when you were born with light inside you. And the world is about to see the glow that no one can take credit for but God. You've been watched by heaven, protected by unseen hands, and separated from distractions for a reason. All this time, you thought you were being forgotten. But what was actually happening was divine refinement. The silence wasn't abandonment, it was sacred preparation. Every delay, every disappointment, every closed door, every silent prayer that seemed to go unanswered was setting the stage for this very unveiling. God was hiding your glory, until it became undeniable, until it became so real, so visible, so radiant that not even the blind could ignore it. And now there is a divine stirring in the atmosphere around you. What you feel is not anxiety. It's not confusion. It's the sensation of truth cracking through the shell that once contained it. You're not unraveling, you're unveiling. There's a difference. What's falling away is not the essence of who you are. It's everything that was hiding your real power. That's why some things feel like they no longer fit. Why some people feel distant. Why some opportunities you once chased now seem irrelevant. That's not loss. It's liberation. You are being freed from illusions so the truth about you can step forward, untouched and undeniable. Every season you walked through that didn't make sense is starting to reveal its purpose. God didn't waste a single moment. You didn't go through hardship just to survive. You went through it to awaken. And awaken you have. Your mind is sharper. Your discernment is clearer. Your intuition is louder. Your soul is tuned to a frequency that isn't afraid anymore. You're not running from truth. You're walking with it. You're not dimming your light. You're preparing to shine in spaces you once thought were too grand for you. But now you understand. They were always waiting for your arrival. This is not just a new chapter in your life. It is a whole new book. The story of the hidden one is closing, and the story of the revealed, radiant, glorious one is opening wide. You don't owe explanations to those who tried to label you in your silence. They were never meant to define you. Their misunderstanding of you was the cost of your anonymity, but that time has expired. They cannot define what they did not help shape. God shaped you in dimensions they couldn't access. He spoke to your spirit in languages they never understood. He called you glorious long before they called you irrelevant. You're stepping into a kind of clarity now that will make you feel like you've been reborn. But this rebirth is not from scratch. It's from truth. You're not starting over. You're starting correct. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming who you've always been, and the power in that revelation will shock even you. You'll begin to look at your past with new eyes, not with regret, but with awe. You'll see the divine fingerprints in places you once thought were broken. You'll begin to feel compassion for the parts of you that once begged to be seen, because now you'll realize they were never overlooked. They were just becoming. Your presence will become undeniable, not because of ego, but because of essence. You will become the answer to unspoken questions. Your mere existence will inspire courage in others. The truth about you will liberate others from their own illusions. And without trying, you will become a mirror reflecting the image of what divine timing looks like. People will say, if they can rise from that, so can I. Not because you sought to be their inspiration, but because you surrendered to your truth. That surrender is your power. That surrender is your access. That surrender is what made room for the unveiling. Don't be surprised when environments begin to shift to accommodate you. Don't be alarmed when certain rooms begin to feel too small. Don't question why opportunities are finding you instead of you finding them. It's because your energy has changed. You are no longer operating from a place of needing to be seen. You are radiating from a place of already being known by God. And when God reveals who you are, He does not reveal a version. He reveals the original, the blueprint, the divine prototype. What's coming out now cannot be hidden again. The veil has been torn. The spiritual locks have been opened. The energetic gate has been lifted. You are not on your way. You are here. You are the embodiment of prophecy, answered prayer, and divine instruction. And this truth is not loud, but it is unshakable. You don't need to explain it. You just need to walk in it. Every step you take from this point on is a declaration of truth. A declaration that says, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to be seen anymore. You will notice something beautiful, that those who once overlooked you will begin to remember you. But it will be too late to approach you as they once did, because you're not returning to old dynamics. You're not revisiting old identities. You're not repeating old lessons. You've evolved. You've transcended. The truth about you has unlocked a realm that the old you never even knew existed. And now that you're in it, you cannot go back. Your truth will begin to carry authority in the spiritual realm. You will begin to feel a divine push when you're in the right place, and a divine resistance when you're not. That's because the truth about you comes with alignment, and when you're aligned, everything that is not for you becomes obvious. This clarity is your compass. Now it's your guide. It's your anchor. You will no longer entertain what doesn't resonate. You will no longer force what doesn't flow. You will no longer settle for what doesn't mirror your truth. You will begin to attract differently, not because you're trying, but because your vibration has shifted. Your soul is radiating signals that call in what aligns with your essence. People, places, ideas, opportunities, they will all start to match your truth. And when something doesn't align, you won't feel shame or fear. You'll feel empowered because the truth about you has revealed that you are not desperate. You are divine. You are not chasing, you are chosen. The more the truth comes out, the more peace you'll carry. This peace is not external. It's not based on things going right. It's internal. It's rooted in knowing that even when things feel uncertain, your identity is certain. God didn't reveal your truth just to make you feel good. He revealed it to make you unstoppable. This clarity is your momentum now. It's your foundation. It's your language. You'll speak from this place. You'll create from this place. You'll connect from this place. You'll love from this place. And you'll never apologize for it again. Your identity has entered the atmosphere. It's not a whisper. It's a trumpet. It's not a secret. It's a revelation. And as more layers of your truth unfold, the world will begin to see what heaven always knew. You are glory in motion. You are divine fire wrapped in purpose. You are the walking confirmation that what God ordains, no one can erase. The heavens have waited for this emergence, this exact moment when the full story of your becoming would no longer be withheld. It was never just about your talents, your presence, or your intelligence. It was always about your divine frequency, the vibration that you were born with, that sends waves through every dimension when you walk in truth. Now that truth is speaking loudly, in rhythm with God's voice, in alignment with your soul's assignment, and in harmony with the destiny that's been hovering above your life since before you were even aware of it. This emergence is not just personal, it's prophetic. The unveiling of your truth is a signal to the spiritual realm. It sends a message to the earth, to the divine timelines, to the forces that have been swirling in anticipation. You are not just revealing who you are releasing divine timing. You are activating what was locked. You are permitting what was paused. The revelation of your truth triggers a cascade of alignment that impacts more than you can see. This is why your journey was so intense. This is why the pressure felt unbearable at times. You were never just being refined. You were being readied. And now that the truth has come out, the atmosphere must shift to accommodate your emergence. Don't be shocked when old frameworks collapse around you. What once held you cannot hold this version of you. The container has changed because the contents have transformed. Your truth is bigger than the limitations you once accepted. Your presence will no longer shrink for comfort. You've entered the era where you fill every space with the fullness of who you really are. There will be days coming when you feel the energy of the past trying to reattach itself to your story. But now, your spirit knows better. Now, your awareness is so sharp that you will immediately recognize what is not your truth. The cycles that once repeated in your life will no longer find room to anchor. The illusions that once seduced you into doubting yourself will no longer have power because the truth chosen one does not negotiate. It is solid, it is stable, it is sacred, and you are now grounded in it like never before. People will begin to talk. They will speak of your change, your confidence, your light, your clarity. Some will admire it, some will question it, others will try to diminish it, but none will be able to ignore it. The truth about you is too radiant now. It glows from within. It shows in your walk, in your words, in your decisions, in your energy. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to seek approval. You don't need to apologize. You just need to keep walking in the direction of your becoming. This revelation will also draw to you new faces, souls who recognize your vibration, even if they've never met you before. Kindred spirits, divine appointments, sacred mirrors. These people will arrive not to complete you, but to reflect the level of truth you now live in. There is no more room for shallow, no more room for forced, no more room for less than what your soul was designed for. Your energy speaks a higher language. Now, and only those fluent in light will understand it. The timing of this unveiling is no accident. Everything in your life is being rearranged by God for such a time as this. The places you once struggled to enter will now send for you. The platforms you once dreamed of will start to reach out, not because you begged, but because you became. You are not where you are by coincidence. You are where you are because heaven's design is unfolding. And when God designs a moment, no earthly resistance can dismantle it. You'll look back on the version of you that once questioned everything, that once pleaded for clarity, that once cried silently for just one sign, and you'll feel overwhelming gratitude, not because that version was weak, but because that version endured. That version made space for the now you, the glorious, confident, awakened you. And that makes every battle holy, every scar sacred, every lonely night meaningful. You didn't just survive it, you purified through it. Now, with the truth in full view, even your enemies are being forced to shift. The ones who used your name in vain, who projected their fears onto your vision, who tried to tether you to their doubt. They're all being silenced, not by vengeance, but by the undeniable unfolding of your identity. God is making a spectacle, not to harm, but to confirm that what was once hidden has always been His, that what they misunderstood was actually marked. Everything that once confused you will now begin to make sense. Everything that once delayed you is now propelling you. Everything that once felt like failure is now being interpreted as divine redirection. This isn't spiritual optimism, it's divine clarity. You were rerouted not because you were wrong, but because your truth required a specific kind of atmosphere to be born in. A place not of convenience, but of consequence, where everything you touch begins to vibrate with destiny. The world will begin to catch on bit by bit, moment by moment, name by name. The truth about you will travel. Your story will rise not in scandal or drama, but in power and reverence. The kind of reverence reserved for things not easily explained, only witnessed. You're becoming one of those stories. The kind that turns skeptics into believers. the kind that makes others say, there must be something divine about them. And they'll be right. Even nature will respond to your unveiling. You'll see signs, numbers, animals, dreams, weather, all speaking in rhythm with your breakthrough. Creation itself celebrates the truth being revealed in you, because your existence confirms that God still speaks through his creations, that he still chooses the unlikely, that he still wraps glory and ordinary and waits for the appointed time to reveal it. You are not just a participant in life anymore. You are a divine signal. Every step you take is echoed in the spiritual realm. Every choice you make in truth reshapes the landscape around you. You'll begin to notice divine acceleration. What used to take years will now happen in days. What was once out of reach is suddenly handed to you, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with your essence. Truth speeds things up, and your truth is now driving the timeline. And as this new season expands, don't be afraid of your own greatness. The world taught you to play small, to dim your light, to be humble in a way that meant invisible. But your spirit was never meant to be invisible. It was meant to be unmistakable. And now that it is, God is confirming you every step of the way, not through loud applause, but through undeniable shifts, the kind of shifts that change bloodlines, break generational patterns, and awaken ancestral promises. Your name is being carried into conversations you didn't orchestrate. Your vision is being seen by eyes you've never met. Your truth is entering atmospheres before your feet do. Because when God reveals who you are, he doesn't need your effort. He just needs your surrender. Now that your truth has stepped forward, something irreversible has been activated. The atmosphere around you has changed, not subtly, but profoundly. There is a spiritual announcement echoing through realms. The chosen one has arrived. And with this arrival comes the awakening of everything attached to your calling. Timelines that were once paused are being released. Blessings that once hovered on the edge are now landing. There's no more waiting for validation. There's no more delay for alignment. This is the hour when your inner identity becomes your outer reality. You will begin to feel the power of your presence before you speak. There will be days when you walk into a space and feel it adjust itself to you. That's not arrogance. It's divine calibration. The energy of your soul has a weight to it. Now, that weight is truth. That weight is glory. That weight is confirmation. And every room that is not built to hold it will collapse or transform. There is no middle ground anymore. You are too aligned to go unnoticed. You are too anointed to be ignored. It will confuse some because the world doesn't know how to handle sudden emergence. They'll ask, where did this come from? But they won't understand that this was never sudden. It was sacred. What they're witnessing is the revelation of what heaven already knew. The rise of the glorious truth that God tucked inside you long ago. The unveiling is simply catching up to the reality that was always there. God doesn't hide what he won't eventually reveal. And when he reveals it, he does so in a way that no one can shut the door again. The glory about to pour through your life is not just light. It is divine strategy. It will move in silence, but manifest in clarity. People will notice your steps getting more ordered, your decisions becoming more precise, your connections becoming more pure. That's because your truth is not just a glow, it's a compass. It's directing your path with unmistakable conviction. Old patterns will start to feel like shackles you can't wear anymore. Old versions of yourself will feel like clothes that no longer fit. And you won't need closure because clarity has replaced it. you'll find yourself walking away from what no longer mirrors your radiance. Not in anger, but in alignment. Not in bitterness, but in brilliance. Because the truth about you demands space, sacred space, expansive space, and anything that once thrived on your dimness can't survive your glow. There's a boldness rising in you now, not from ego, but from essence. It's the boldness that comes when you've met yourself fully in the presence of God, when you've seen your rawness and your royalty in the same breath, when you've stared into the divine mirror and finally recognized what's been staring back at you all along. That recognition is sacred. It's what fuels kings and queens. It's what fuels prophets and pioneers. And now it's what fuels you. Do not be surprised when people begin to speak your name with reverence, when those who once overlooked you now reference you, when those who once whispered against you now listen for your voice. This is not vanity. It is vindication. This is not about being praised. It's about being placed. God is placing you where you were always meant to be. And the moment is so tailored, so intricately designed that no one else could occupy it. There is glory in your name now, a new frequency, a divine vibration. And those who are meant for you will hear it like a sacred sound. They will be drawn to you without needing to understand why. They'll feel at home in your energy because it reflects their own becoming. That's the power of walking in truth. It not only liberates you, it liberates everyone connected to you. Your emergence isn't just personal, it's generational. The truth about you carries inheritance. It unlocks doors that were shut for lifetimes. It reclaims promises that were abandoned. You are not just showing up for yourself. You are showing up for the silent prayers of your ancestors, for the dreams they didn't live long enough to see. And as you rise, they rise with you. You'll begin to sense it in your spirit. The presence of those who came before you, the alignment of timelines, the merging of past, present, and future into this singular electric now. Their wisdom is in your stride. Their strength is in your voice. Their glory is woven into your DNA. And when the truth about you emerges, it reactivates theirs as well. You are a living archive of sacred power. God has waited for this hour with holy anticipation. He knew the moment you would stop shrinking. He knew when your spirit would be ready to carry the weight of your full name. He watched as you grew through silence, bloomed through rejection, evolved through fire. And now he's saying, reveal what I've planted. Show them what I've shaped. Walk as I intended. The unveiling will not be loud in volume. It will be loud in impact. Your presence will do more than your words ever could, because truth doesn't need to argue. It only needs to be revealed. And once it's revealed, it moves like water through barriers, under gates, into cracks, over borders. The truth about you will find its way into places you haven't even touched yet. That's how God works. He doesn't wait for permission. He moves with precision. Even your enemies will feel it. The ones who plotted against your rise will now watch it unfold. But you won't gloat. You'll glow. You'll radiate peace in the face of past wounds. You'll carry light where once there was only heaviness. Because this emergence isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. And revelation is rooted in peace, in purpose, in divine stillness that doesn't need to shout. Your time in obscurity was not a punishment. It was an incubation. It was God shielding your glory from contamination. You were too precious to be exposed too early, too vital to be tampered with. And now that the process is complete, the unveiling has begun. And with it comes unstoppable motion. Movement that doesn't ask for consent. Movement that shifts the very ground you walk on. From this point forward, your truth will lead. Not your trauma, not your past, not your fear, only your truth. That glorious, God-breathed, heaven-anointed truth that is finally free. And when truth walks free, miracles follow. The atmosphere around you is no longer the same because you are no longer the same. There is a spiritual ripple effect taking place now. Waves of divine resonance pulsing outward from your being, reaching places far beyond your physical reach. The truth about you has become a frequency, and it is calling what belongs to you into your orbit. Not later, not someday, now. And the intensity of what is coming cannot be measured by the natural world. It can only be understood by those who know the language of timing, the language of heaven, the language of fulfillment. You will begin to notice how the things you once hoped for begin to appear without strain, not because you begged the world to see you, but because the world has no choice now. When the light of truth is turned on, darkness has no argument. It retreats, and the spaces once dimmed by confusion, rejection, and misidentification are now lit by the fire of who you really are. The smoke is clearing. The veil is torn. The illusions are breaking apart, and all that remains is glory. Your glory.